And there's a massive misconception about acne-prone clients that they're really oily.
They have oily skin.
80% of them are really dry. And so think about that dead cell overbuild. I always knew that we needed to develop a rich cream for acne. Nobody else has one. We could do what everyone else is doing and do a gel moisturizer, or we could lean into the non-comedogenicity and like make this beautiful rich cream that I've been looking for my own clients that doesn't exist. It took 2 years to develop because I was so obsessed with the texture being perfect.
It's incredible. Hello, it's Brooke Devard, and you're listening to the Naked Beauty Podcast. And if you're with us here on YouTube, you're watching the Naked Beauty Podcast. Today, you are in for such a treat because my guest, Sofie Pavitt, is such an expert on skin. I'm going to get a little bit into her background just so you all know who we have with us today. Sofie Pavitt is a licensed esthetician and certified acne specialist, helping people tackle concerns ranging from cystic acne to fine lines. She left her 15-year career as a handbag designer for brands like Michael Kors and Tory Burch to open up her skincare studio, Sofie Pavitt Skincare Studio. So we've got Sofie's incredible skincare here and Sophie herself, the true expert. I can't wait to dive in with you. But she launched Sofie Pavitt Skin in 2023. She is truly a master of her craft, and she's passionate about helping people to unlock the best skin of their lives. I'm so excited, Sophie, to welcome you to Naked Beauty.
Thank you, Brooke. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, well, you look incredible. I was like, something's different, and you were like, it's the bangs.
I cut my bangs. You know, we had Sephora SMC last week.
Okay, and what's SMC? Tell us what Sephora SMC is for those of us that don't know.
Sephora do a big managers conference once a year. They bring all the managers from across the country to Vegas for one day.
Oh my God.
To meet up to 60 brands. And it's for an immersive experience to learn about those brands.
Okay.
We were in the discovery room. We launched with Sephora in January this year. So it was an amazing experience, an opportunity for us as a brand to really show people how it works, what we stand for, and to meet all these amazing managers. And it's such a feel-good event, you know, like it's all with other founders that we're all friendly with. It was awesome. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
But yeah, you leave feeling really rejuvenated and invigorated by it.
Well, the Sephora managers are on the floor. They're with the people that are, they know what people's real concerns are, right? It's like, it's different than what you see on Instagram. Right. So when someone comes in and they're like, I'm breaking out, I need a great product to clear my skin, then they know everything about your products.
And you know, I always refer to Boise, Idaho as like my flagship obsession in America, because I'm like, everybody knows who we are in New York and LA and all these like bigger cities. What about Boise, Idaho? And I met the Sephora manager from Boise, Idaho, and I nearly cried. I was like, yes, finally, we have an in, you know?
What were her insights? What did she share about that customer?
Cool. I mean, we're really new. We just launched in all stores this week. So we were in 360 when we launched, and now they've rolled us out to all doors. So yeah, everyone's really excited. There's not that many acne brands, and I say it in parentheses, which really focus narrow and deep on problematic skin. So it's exciting for them.
Yeah, we had Julie Schott on the podcast, and she talked about Starface, which I feel like to see a brand like that where you can embrace your acne, right? Because back in my day, we just put concealer over our acne, which is like horrific now thinking about it.
I know, and I love what Julie's doing over at Starface. You know, I think our customer is a little different. And the reason why is Starface is like, her customer is really like, they own their acne, right?
They're like 12 years old also.
They're wearing these amazing patches. It's such a moment. Whereas our clientele is a little older. So what we've realized at the studio, our demographic is around 25 onwards, and acne is not sexy.
At all.
And people in New York do not want to deal with it. They want it to be gone, and they don't want to talk about it anymore. And so I've found there's a really interesting conversation online where you have these brands and like acne influencers in parentheses, you know, talking about it's okay to have acne. And yeah, it is okay. And I like that message for a younger demographic. But for someone 25 and onwards, they don't want acne. They want to get rid of it. They want products that work, and they want to maintain it and just be done and not make it their whole identity. So that's the difference.
Yes.
So for us, it's like, yeah, we're going to get you to where you want to be. We're going to maintain it, and it's gone.
Is acne something you've ever struggled with growing up?
Yeah, I had acne when I was a teenager. Postpartum, we were talking about, you know, having babies earlier. I really struggled, like hormonal acne for sure. So I know how difficult it can be for people. And then we also have the studio.
Right.
So the studio, we see around 650 people a month, which is insane. It's like so many people.
You've had your hands on a lot of people's faces.
Right. And so we have a team of amazing estheticians who work there. We have 8 people who work there right now. And what I always explain, you know, there's a lot of people who are coming to this from like a very personal lens. I have that personal lens, but I also have this collective knowledge from all these people that we see every month. That is truly our R&D department. So I think that's what sets us apart from other people. We have these like client experiences working with our product lines. So.
The best focus group you could ask for.
Exactly.
Now,
it's great.
You grew up in South Wales.
I did.
Did you feel beautiful growing up? Paint the picture. Like, what was South Wales giving?
You know what's so interesting is like I knew from a very early age I didn't want to be in Wales.
Really?
Yeah, it's really crazy. And I've like always had this like longing to be somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I'm also 42. So I grew up like early on, like we didn't have the internet. I know that sounds so crazy to experience. Like I didn't have internet until I was 17 or 18 years old.
Yeah.
So when I think about that, like, oh my gosh. So like we were looking at magazines.
Who's from South Wales? I feel like there are famous people from South Wales.
Catherine Zeta-Jones is from South Wales.
Okay.
Tom Jones.
Okay.
Corgis.
The dogs?
Our greatest export. That's kind of it.
Where's Kate Moss from?
Kate Moss is from Essex.
Essex, okay.
Yeah. Catherine Zeta-Jones and Tom Jones. Dylan Thomas, the poet.
Okay, not familiar. But you knew you wanted to
was just like...
You wanted to be...
I got to get out of here.
And you wanted to be in America.
I didn't know if I wanted to be in America. I loved going to London, like going to the museums in London with my parents. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool. Like I just needed like something else. Like Newport, I grew up in Newport, which is like really cool music scene. Like they obviously say it would be like the Seattle of the UK. Like all the bands would come to like Wales first. So we'd have like this influx of like cool bands come in. I'd be like, wait, you look so much cooler than any of us.
Right.
Like I want to go where you're going, you know? So I always knew I wanted to move away. I went to college when I was 17 to Bristol, which is like not far from Wales.
I know Bristol.
Right. So I went to college in Bristol. I did fashion design.
Yes.
I thought I was going to be a fashion designer. Like that was like my focus. And I became a fashion designer.
And then you went to Ohio, which
did.
is probably the least glamorous part of America.
My first job ever was designing underwear for Abercrombie
and Fitch. I know.
And they had emailed me as I was graduating. They'd seen my project on WGSN. Do you remember that website?
Oh, yeah.
World Global Style Network.
Yes.
It was like the only place you could see runway pictures.
Absolutely.
Like there was no social media then.
Right.
So they did a project, or they showed my project for London Graduate Fashion Week. And someone from Abercrombie saw it and they emailed me and they were like, we want to interview you. Flew me out to Ohio. I was 20 years old at this point. And what an opportunity. Like, first of all, I was in the UK, like fashion graduates didn't get jobs unless you were like going to do an unpaid internship. And I was like, yeah, I got to do this. So I moved to Ohio.
Wow. So what year? Because this was probably when Abercrombie was at its peak.
Peak Abercrombie.
Peak, yes.
I want people to understand the like juxtaposition of what I looked like when I worked at Abercrombie. I was so goth. I had no eyebrows. I had black hair, loads of tattoos and piercings. And I was designing underwear for like Hollister.
LOL,
it was
so
amazing.
Funny.
It was really cool. And, you know, I think for me, it was great because I really understood like America, like middle America.
Right. The real America.
Not the coastal enclaves that we're all really familiar with, but it was really cool. And I have so many friends who've like came from that path.
Right.
Too.
Was it a culture shock a little bit?
Massively. Yeah. I remember crying in a Kroger because I couldn't find coriander. Aww. And I was like, what's coriander? Like, oh my God. And I was like, no, it's cilantro. So like, I know that's a silly example, but like so many things like that.
Even calling it underwear in the UK, they say pants, right?
Yeah.
I can remember when I lived in London going into a shop and saying like, where are your pants? And they looked at me like, what?
I know,
and they were like, we don't sell pants here. And I was like, what? And then I realized, okay, it's trousers.
Right,
is what you're supposed to say.
Yeah. Or someone always laughed when I was like, oh yeah, your swimming costume.
Yes, that's very, It's
not a bathing suit. It's a swimming costume, which is actually very funny when now I've been here 20 years. Yeah, we call it a swimming costume. So Yeah, it was a culture shock.
But it's so interesting that you have this background as a fashion designer, because when I got your latest mailer with the incredible, is it a rugby shirt?
Yes.
First of all, the way that's a staple in my wardrobe
So
now. It's so well done. And brands send merch, and it's usually like sorry, I shouldn't be mean. It's usually like just a generic sweatshirt, or sometimes it'll be like a hat. Like, I don't know. It's never anything that you really want to wear.
Right.
And then I got your, like, how would you describe it? So it's like a striped rugby shirt.
Yeah, like a polo shirt, rugby shirt with
so
a little
cool.
chain embroidery, which is like a nice quality. We got those done at Arena Embroidery, which is a very cool embroidery store. Thank you, Rocco. And so, for me, it's like my fashion background comes in handy all the time.
Yes.
And I think that just designing stuff, like it's so funny to be back to product, because when I quit fashion and I went into beauty, I was like, I'm never designing anything ever again. Like, I'm here for service. I'm going to take care of people. I'm so excited. And so when I started thinking about the line, it was like, oh God, here we go again,
Right.
But I love it. I can't get away from it.
And you had this 15-year history as a handbag designer.
Yeah.
Which I want to ask you, what do you think, what are good handbags now that are not crazily expensive? Because
that's an amazing question.
The prices are just...
Well, Y2K it bags will never be replicated in this economy ever again. Like, I have a Chloe Paddington hobo at home.
Of course.
My bag
I sold
archive
mine.
is deep.
Okay.
I have a really deep...
I'm jealous you still have your
lovely.
Paddington.
And, it's so heavy. Like,
that
everyone's
lock.
going to get friggin' bursitis from using it,
Right.
Like, but those bags were like $600.
Oh, yeah. No,
They weren't... At the time, it was expensive, but like... Yeah, I mean, how much is a bag these days? 3-4K?
Insane.
I can't bring myself to do it. I walk around with a bagu.
Can I tell you, you see me, I have my little Simone Rocha shopping bag, and then my Bottega Jody bag that I got 3 years ago and literally wear every single day.
It's hard to make that investment.
Can I tell you what I think it is? I think it's because we're moms and we have kids. And for me, I'm always calculating how many hours of like childcare that could be.
Yes.
I'm
how many
just like...
snacks you need.
Right.
What where's your wet wipes going? Yeah. And then how much you're spending on it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like... Well, no, it's the price. It's the price. I'm just like, the amount of money that I would have to spend to like justify this bag. It's just carrying my stuff. It's not that important.
I think also working in fashion, you kind of like drink the Kool-Aid. So I'd go on these inspiration trips and be like, oh God, I've spent like 20K on samples for work. What's 2K on myself? You know? And then, it's gross.
Yes.
So I'm with you. I struggle with it too.
Yes. So what made you fall in love with beauty? Because you were in fashion.
I was in fashion. I've always loved beauty. I loved going into hair salons and Boots. Like Boots was like our like drugstore in the UK. I would like, nothing would make me happier than coming home with like £10 worth of like Boots goodies when I was little. I was like, oh my gosh, I was the Avon girl. And when I started working at Michael Kors, they realized it was cheaper and faster to send the design team to Seoul every 12 weeks to approve samples than it was to FedEx them.
Wow. So you got to go to Korea like 4 times a year?
4 or 5 times a year.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
And I did that for years.
I would have never left.
I mean, what was amazing to me when I went was that the difference between products and then also services was so different.
Yes.
Back in the day, right? And I'm talking like 2011.
Yeah, but even now today, we just had Vanessa Lee on the podcast. We love Vanessa.
She's so great.
And what she shared with us is that she did an estimation. She thinks that Korea is about 13 years. I think she said it was between 11 and 13 years ahead of us in terms of skincare.
I deeply agree.
Yeah.
Deeply.
It's like traveling into the future.
Well, I used to come back with sheet masks when I started going, and people were like, what on earth is this? That's crazy. And now you can get them in Target, you know? So the facial treatments I started getting in Seoul, when I think about like what Sephora was looking like 15, 16 years ago, skincare was always an afterthought. There was a lot of color brands. There was a lot of fragrance, hair care, nails, brows. Brows were really big 15 years ago. And then and skincare was kind of just like, there wasn't that masstige market there. And so that's what I was really introduced to in Korea. And, the treatments, Bliss Spa was like the spot in New York then.
Yes, I remember.
Still love it. But I would always go to Bliss, get a facial, and always be told like, no, don't talk. Like, you're going to have your products at the end, and we'll talk about like what we did. And I was always like, I want to know what you're doing right now. Like, I wanted to talk through my treatment. So when I would get them in Seoul, even though I was in Seoul, I would learn more about my skin in these treatments
Right.
than I would in these relaxing sensorial facials. So I was always like, there's a miss over here. So I started thinking about, so first of all, I got my green card, thank goodness, because that meant that I wasn't tied to a job.
Ah,
And so I was like, I'm going to retrain as a facialist. And I don't know what I'm going to do with that at all, but I want to work in beauty. And if I'm going to work in beauty, I need to start from the beginning. So I started going on the weekends. I got my graduation over a year. This was still while I was working full time in fashion. And then I was like, okay, well, now what? Like, am I going to go and work in brand, or am I going to work for a publication? Like all this stuff. I started giving my friends facials, and I also like instantly had this following, but it was from the fashion set. Everyone was like, I want a facial. I want a facial.
interesting. And that's probably how you got mentioned in so many like articles and Into the Gloss and all of this
Right.
stuff.
So I did facials. I want to say I did facials for free for like 8 months. I didn't charge anyone because I was like, I want to practice on you. I want to like learn about your skin. I realized that I was in deep with it because I was getting fully booked on the weekends after work. I was like doing research while I was in Seoul with Michael Kors. I was like, I gotta like figure out what I want to do. I quit my job and I immediately started working for a dermatologist. I was like, okay, well now I've got to keep the lights on and get an actual wage, but I want to still learn. And that's when I really started getting into problematic skin. I still work at Centre Aesthetic. I work there 1 day a week, which is bonkers, but it's really important to me because I think I learned so much from other estheticians, but also doctors, like the way that people treat acne and problematic skin.
There's something I want to touch on. You've talked about doing this for free. And I think that one of the things that I always think about when people are trying to figure out what's my passion, what am I meant to do, how do I link what I make money with what my true passion is? And I feel like the thing that you're meant to do is actually the thing that you would do for free. Like the thing you would do for free is what you're supposed to do for money.
It's so, so true. I am so deeply obsessed with what I do every single day. I love working with clients. People are surprised that I still see clients. I still see clients 1 or 2 days a week. It's really important.
Yeah.
My team are like, are you crazy? Like, I'm like, yeah, I need to literally see, like, that's how I workshop things.
Right.
So it's really important to me and I love it so much.
And I think more people should pay attention to the things that they love. I think that there's often this feeling like, okay, I love doing this, but it's just for fun. It can't actually be my job. You left a field that you were successful in. You had logged a decade plus in that field, but you said, I love this thing. I'm going to walk away from my fashion career and just start over from zero, from scratch.
And it was scary. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't easy. I didn't have kids at that point, which was great. I did get really very pregnant with my son maybe 3 months after quitting my job. I was like, well, I don't have health insurance anymore. We're going to figure this out, you know? So that was also like a pressure to make things work too. I think you have to make yourself in these uncomfortable situations to see if it's worth doing or not, right? Yeah. So, but yeah, it worked out. It worked out.
Yes. So one of the things that you say in your studio space, you say, this is not a spa.
Yes.
Why is that?
It's not a spa. And it's funny because now we're in Sephora with the product line. I have to message it even more because I think some people come in expecting one thing and then being shocked when they're not given a robe, given a waterfall sound in the back, like a facial massage and a neck rub. Like, what our goal is to get you to the best skin of your life.
Right.
We're going to solve what is going on, whether it's acne or, you know, inflammation, and go from there. So
take me through, if I went to Sofie Pavitt Studio to get a facial, what would the experience be? So you'd come into the room, and we've just relocated. So actually, the space is beautiful. It's not like bare bones or anything. You're going to be in a room, and your esthetician is going to lay you down and inspect your face. We're going to cleanse you. We're going to figure out what's going on. What are your skin concerns? We're going to have a dialogue throughout this treatment. We're going to make sure that the treatment that you picked is the right treatment for you. And then we're going to customize it to suit your needs. Yes. Question for you.
Customize.
What do most, I'm going to use 30s. I'll use my age group. What do most women in their 30s say are their skin concerns?
Well, for me, mostly it's breakouts.
Acne.
Perioral dermatitis.
Oh, the worst.
Aging, like, fine lines, wrinkles, sun damage. Yeah, those are kind of the four main ones, I would say.
Okay. So, I want to dive deeper into acne. What is acne exactly? What is happening when we get a breakout? Okay,
I have a really easy, not too short explanation, but I'm going to try and make it really fast for you. The too long didn't read. there's 3 things that have to align for you to get a breakout. And I call it the chain of events. The first one is an overshedding of skin cells. Now, that could be because you're not exfoliating enough. It could be that you're naturally predisposed to shedding faster, which 40% of the population are. It could be that you have a lot of dead cell buildup and you need to get rid of it. But that dead skin is sticking to the pore, it's causing a layer on the skin, and nothing is penetrating or working correctly. That's number 1. Number 2 is oil production. Oil production is environmental. It's where you live. It's whether you're stressed out. It's whether you eat certain foods, if you're on certain medication. All those things can ramp up your oil production. When your oil production is high and it goes into a pore that has a lot of dead cells in, those things combine, they become sticky, like a little plug in the pore. That doesn't cause a breakout, that causes congestion. What causes the breakout, the inflammatory acne, is C. acnes bacteria, and everyone has it on their skin. It's part of our microbiome. The reason why it gets crazy is if it has a food source, and that dead skin and oil is his favorite thing to eat. So what you're trying to do is figuring out what part of the chain of event you want to attack first. Sure. And when you go to the derm, they try and attack 2 and 3 first. They try and put you on low dose medications to bring down your oil production. So things like birth control, spironolactone, in big cases, Accutane. Or they put you on low dose antibiotics to kill the bacteria, clindamycin, doxycycline, and it works as a band-aid. It stops that chain of events. The best way to clear your acne is to focus on stripe 1, which is overshedding of skin cells. What are you doing to get rid of them? How are you helping your body exfoliate them correctly? And it's slow and slow, gentle exfoliation. That's it.
Okay, hence
it's not hard.
Hence the mandelic acid serum, which I did a mandelic acid facial at 111 Skin on Harley Street. And I had a chance to meet Dr. Giannis, and he was like, this is my favorite facial, because he's like, there's no recovery time. It's great for everyone. And just for me as a Black woman, anytime I'm going to get anything done to my face, I'm just like, if I leave here with hyperpigmentation,
100%,
I am like,
you have to be super careful.
Yeah, I'm super. I haven't done any lasers or anything because I'm just, and I know that there are lasers that people of color swear by and say is safe and gentle and effective. I haven't gone that route yet, but I just love mandelic acid as an ingredient.
You know, I love it too. And it's the largest molecule size in the AHA family. You have glycolic and lactic, right? Lactic is in the middle. Glycolic is the smallest molecule. So it penetrates really fast and causes a lot of irritation. It can cause hyperpigmentation too. Mandelic sits on the surface of the skin. So it really helps brighten, but it also kills bacteria and it gently exfoliates without that irritation. So it's amazing. The reason why people don't use it predominantly as one singular acid in a product is multiple of reasons. Number 1, it's really gentle. And we're also obsessed with that like instant results. That
the tingling and the stinging.
Hello, perioral dermatitis. This is why everybody has it. And
perioral dermatitis, we should explain what it is, because I've had it once. I'm going to tell you how I got it, and you're going to be so horrified. But it's basically, well, you explain what it is, but it's around your mouth area.
Yes. And it's irritation.
It's irritation, and it's painful.
Yeah. And most of the time, you know, everybody talks about toothpaste and all this stuff. Most of the time, in my experience, it's from products.
Okay. Can I tell you how I got it?
100%.
This is I'm at the airport in Frankfurt, Germany.
Love the story already.
I'm at the duty free. There are all of these fancy skin creams. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was like in a state of like extreme jet lag and like fatigue. And I literally scooped, I remember it was a little Chanel skincare thing. I literally scooped it and I put it directly on my face, which is, as you know, absolutely insane. At an airport, you're putting skincare. They shouldn't even have that available.
No.
They shouldn't even, but most people are smart enough not to do that. I literally put it on my face. This happened in like 2016 and I'm still haunted by it.
What product?
I don't know what it was, but I'm sure it wasn't even the product's fault. I'm sure it was just the high traffic.
Right.
However many hundreds of people put their fingers in that cream.
You know what is another crazy thing for perioral dermatitis, and this is like a hot take, is barrier protecting products.
Oh.
If you use too many of them, you can really, really rip up on the perioral dermatitis.
Interesting, because people use barrier protecting products so that to simplify their skincare routine.
You can have way too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
And if you use a whole line, which is barrier supporting, it can cause a lot of issues.
Yes. So yeah, I had it then, and then I also had it from a homemade serum that I made that had too much essential oil, which
essential oils will do it.
Essential oils will do it, and it's so hard to clear up. It's like impossible. I mean, not impossible. So what do you do for it?
Literally nothing.
Nothing.
Don't put anything on.
You leave it alone.
As like little as possible. Sulfur can really help. But my first point of call is like, let's not do anything. Just leave it naked for like 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
Calm it down, see how you do. And then like a sulfur mask can be really helpful. Not too much though, like 1 to 2 times a week.
What do you think? I'm going to get the name wrong. It's like a spray from Tower 28.
Hypochlorous acid.
Yes. Is that
SOS
good?
spray. So I love hypochlorous acid, and I love that the Tower 28 one. It's great. Hypochlorous acid is a cleanser.
Oh.
Think of it as something that is amazing at cleansing the skin. It's not a hydrator.
It's not a hydrator.
And a lot of people will use it continuously throughout the day, which is like cleansing your skin multiple times a day.
So that would dry your skin out.
Yes. It's not that it's a bad product. It's a great product.
Is it marketed as a cleanser?
No.
I feel like there's like a little bit of like product not miseducation, but I feel like this is news to me.
No, it's a toner. Like it is a toning.
But you're not supposed to use it throughout the day.
No, I wouldn't use it throughout the day.
Okay.
A great way to use hypochlorous acid is, okay, you go to the gym.
Right.
You're in the middle of the day. You want to like prevent any bacteria or like sweat or anything going on your skin. You give yourself a little spritz of that, but that is cleansing your skin. So just be careful with it. It's great, but it's just be careful with it. Can I go back to mandelic acid really quickly?
Yes, let's talk about it.
I want to talk about the reason why people don't use it primarily is the only active in a product.
Okay.
And the reason why, especially with acne products, is that mandelic acid is not monogrammed for acne use. And so what people do is they combine it with other actives that are. So then they can talk about it as a marketing effort. So a lot of people will use mandelic with salicylic. Salicylic is so friggin' drying.
It is.
It's drying and it causes irritation. So I was like, we can't do that. We have to do a mandelic acid. We were lucky because we had the acne studio that we could always talk about being this acne destination.
Right.
But the reason why people do it is because they can monograph that ingredient and talk about acne within it. So we can't call it an acne product, even though it's won 17 awards. It's one of the best acne clearing products, but we can't say acne on it.
Interesting. Okay, that's really helpful to know. And so when you launched your line, so you've got this great cleanser, which I love, the Mandelic serum, and then we're gonna get into this because
I brought that one especially for you because I know you love. I think
I like sent you a DM, which like
you did. You voice noted me, and I was so honored.
I voice noted. I try so many products. I very, very rarely will reach out to a founder directly and like send a long voice note. Sophie, what did you put in this moisturizer? Because let me just tell you my experience. I opened it. I'm like, okay, it's a cream. How many moisturizers have I received? How many moisturizers have we all tried? 1 million. And it like kind of looked like, a moisturizer I've seen before. Here, yeah. Okay. And I know it has like a fancy scooper, but I'm just going to put it on the back of my hand. As soon as I started rubbing it into my skin,
you're like, oh, she's different.
I was like, what?
She's different.
Is this? I've never felt a texture like this. The way it sunk into my skin, the way my skin was glowing the next day, I was like, I need to know everything. And there was a beautiful, like it came in a mailer with like this caveat. It was a very beautiful mailer.
Thank you.
The marketing on point, always gorgeous. But all of the marketing aside, I was like, this moisturizer is incredible.
So there's a story behind this moisturizer.
Tell me everything.
Which is, everything is still designed and developed within our studio.
Okay.
The only thing all our acne clients would ever ask for in a moisturizer, they'd say, we need something more hydrating. Gel moisturizer is not doing it for me.
Right.
I'm really dry. And there's a massive misconception about acne-prone clients that they're really oily.
They have oily skin.
80% of them are really dry. And so think about that dead cell overbuild, there's dryness there. So I always knew that we needed to develop a rich cream for acne. Nobody else has one.
Wow.
And so when we were designing the line, I was like, we could do what everyone else is doing and do a gel moisturizer, or we could lean into the non-comedogenicity and like make this beautiful rich cream that I've been looking for my own clients that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So that was really it took 2 years to develop because I was so obsessed with the texture being perfect.
It's incredible. Now, what makes something non-comedogenic?
Yeah. So comedogenic ingredients have the ability to clog the pores.
Okay. So what would that include?
Things like shea butter, parky shea, coconut oil, avocado oil. There's tons. Like algae, so carrageenan.
So all of the La Mer products.
Maybe.
You're like,
maybe
you said it, not me.
So the philosophy behind it is I've always relied, and I always keep this as my message, path of least resistance when you're clearing your skin. It doesn't mean that comedogenic ingredients are bad. They are not bad for your skin. But if you are acne prone, they are more likely to make your clearing journey slower and more difficult.
Right.
So it's not that I don't think comedogenic ingredients are able to be used by acne people. I think that you can take them out while you're clearing and get there faster, and then you can decide whether you want to bring them back in. If you add one in at a time, then you'll see if it breaks you out or not. So everything on the line is non-comedogenic. And you can copy and paste your ingredient list of any other product in your line into our website, and it'll tell you if there's a pore clogging ingredient in it.
Oh, incredible.
So take it all out, and you'll clear faster.
And how much does this retail for?
62 or 64. I think it's 62.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's under $65. And I will just say, I've tried a lot of luxury products. I think this is one of the best moisturizers I've ever tried. I will link to it in the show notes so people can try, but this just blew me away.
Thank you. You should keep it in the fridge in summer too, because then it becomes a cold cream. And it feels so good on the skin.
I love that idea. Okay, I'm definitely going to keep it in the fridge. Now, I also love the cleanser, and I feel like she's very simple but effective.
She's not clean. She's clean. We call it clean cleanser.
Yes.
I love a foam and gel cleanser. And I think we all went way too left with like the oils and like the creams. Like I love an oil and cream cleanser, but for acne.
I need a lather. I need a lather. Yeah.
And the whole point of cleansing your skin when you have breakouts is that you want to prep your skin to receive your treatment.
Yes.
You want to get everything off the skin. You don't want to dry it out, but this is a gel cleanser that won't leave any residue, leave you feeling really fresh and hydrated, but your skin is clean. It's ready to receive your treatment.
Yes. Okay. I have a very self-serving question.
Always.
So I am like just getting over it. I got a pimple on my lower lip, which I feel like lip pimples.
The worst.
And I'm always like trying to like I'm like, is it this lip liner? Is it this lip balm? But like, I don't even know. I can't pinpoint it. It's maybe happened twice this year already.
Interesting.
Always in the same spot.
I wonder if you have like a waxy lip pencil you're using.
Yeah, some of them are waxy.
Yeah,
I'm like
some of them contain like beeswax and things like that. That could be clogging.
So one of my questions is, what's like the time between you use the product and the pimple shows up? Because I'm like, I don't want to blame like the last one I used, because I'm like, I feel like it would have been like from the day before. Like,
That's
is it
a good
immediate?
question. It depends.
It depends.
It totally depends.
Yeah.
You could just make sure that you're exfoliating correctly.
Exfoliating the lip area.
Yeah, so like a sugar scrub can be really helpful, or an old toothbrush. You just want to make sure that you're like bringing off the dead cells like the rest of the skin.
And the compulsion to pop it is just, when it's on your lip, it's like
also,
at an all-time high.
Pimples are always so fun to pop.
Well, okay, so, but see, you're saying it's fun to pop. I've been told never ever pop, so I just like leave it there.
I'm proud of you. You shouldn't, but it's fun for me to pop them. And anything along like the vermilion lip line is like always like so juicy and fun to pop.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna maybe go home and like try to pop it, because it's.
Well, here's a hack: take two Q-tips
and push them together.
You want to like almost disable like your pushing power, right? So if you use a Q-tip in each hand, you can kind of like manipulate it, and if it doesn't work with those, it's not ready.
Okay, so you are okay with people trying to pop at home
with my Q-tip method? Yes.
With the Q-tip method. Now, should they like steam before? Like, is there? Okay, so steam the face before. Use 2 Q-tips on either side and like gently push.
Yes.
And try to pop.
And you don't need to like steam the face for a long time. Yeah, like a hot shower.
Hot shower. Okay. Yeah. This is going to get graphic. What do you want to come out? Because sometimes in the past, and I really, really am so good about not popping now, but I have seen blood come out.
Right.
And I feel like you want like a whitish-y, yellowy thing to come out.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different types of breakouts, right? You
Yeah.
have like blackheads, which are really fun because you just like take.
I've never had a blackhead.
I mean, you're beautiful. Yeah, like your skin. You have actually very small pores.
I do have small, but my skin is dry. So I feel like those go hand in hand.
Yes,
I have
same.
small pores,
No,
but dry skin. People have like larger pores, but then they have like this beautiful oily dewiness that I have to use products to get.
Literally same.
Yeah.
You want to look for if you're popping a pimple, you want to make sure there's like something to pop, right? It's not like a papule, which is kind of just like a red flat raised area. You want to like make sure there's a white head to it,
right?
Or something like some juice behind
and like
it.
it's kind of like emerging to the surface. Like when do you know it's ready?
When it has that white head showing.
Okay. So 'cause sometimes I feel like it's like very under the surface, and like I know it's coming, so you want to leave it alone then.
You want to leave it alone, ice it.
Yeah.
Contrast therapy can be really helpful, like deep cystic stuff. So like hot and cold.
Okay.
You do like a little hot washcloth, little ice cube, bring down the inflammation. It'll bring anything out. Benzoyl peroxide is still a classic. I love a benzoyl peroxide mask. We have one in the line. and you just put it there, brings down inflammation, exfoliates. Yeah.
And so what should you see coming out when you pop a whitehead?
You should see that little white bit of gunk come out.
Okay.
It is really normal to have a little blood, but you don't want to go too hard with it. Don't press too hard because that will cause inflammation
and then hyperpigmentation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you get to pop people's pimples?
All day.
Is that like
favorite thing ever.
Is that like so satisfying?
Yeah, I mean, I am so some people think it's a dirty job. I think it's like so satisfying.
No, I feel like it would be so satisfying. Now, I am someone I do a lot of skincare to myself at home. I probably haven't had an extraction in like 3 years. Is that concerning? Like, is my
well, your skin doesn't look like it needs extracting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people can kind of go without.
You go for facials, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't.
Oh, well,
I don't.
just come and have a facial with me because sometimes a lot of dryness can be from cell buildup, right?
Okay.
I think that a facial, like you have beautiful skins and it's clear and healthy. Like, I don't think you're a candidate to do a monthly facial, for example. If someone was dealing with like persistent breakouts, I would say come in every 4 weeks. We'll get you nice and clear and then we'll put you on a maintenance path. One thing I think is a really great, one way of a cadence for facials is break your year up into quarters. What are you doing in Q1? What are you doing in Q2? What are you doing in Q3?
Yes.
And it breaks that out into two opportunities. You have correct, which is anything from September to April, and then protect, which is April to September, which is when you're going outside, you're mostly in the sun. So that's kind of where we go with facials.
Okay. I want to go back to acne a little bit because we talked about the causes of acne, but what about hormonal acne? Because I think that for so many women, it's just like it kind of happens predictably around their cycle. So how do you treat for that?
So hormonal imbalances are normal. Like we have a menstrual cycle that is an imbalanced hormonal pattern, right? We have these like fluctuations within our cycle. What is something that can exacerbate acne in that like hormonal cycle is everything else. Like hormonal health isn't just your period. It's how much you sleep. It's what you're eating. It's if you eat enough fiber. Like fiber is massively impactful for PCOS, hormonal fluctuations. Yeah. How stressed are you? Are you working out too much? Working out too much is worse than not working out at all for your hormones.
No one would ever accuse me of that, but yes,
well,
I know that's it's a problem. It's a problem for some people. I get it. Yeah,
but all these things contribute, and I think that's the big miss is that everybody's like, oh, my period makes me break out like crazy, and it's like, no, well, actually, what are you doing like all the other time to support that menstrual cycle? And I'm not really a fan of like the whole seed cycling thing. I think it's like getting too deep. It's not that deep. Like I just think taking care of yourself on a wider lens, like go to sleep. Don't drink too much.
Right.
Eat well.
Right.
Have fiber.
Right.
Don't smoke cigarettes.
Right.
Work out, but not too much. Like it's all just like really boring advice, but it makes a huge difference.
I know. It's so interesting that like smoking cigarettes has boomeranged back
everyone wants to be a bad girl again.
I know. And I'm like, wait, are we really going back to this? It feels wrong.
I used to smoke cigarettes when I was a teenager.
Right. Yeah. It feels wrong that we're going.
Well, it's like how tanning is back in. Tanning is so in, and I'm like,
that's scary.
Come on, guys. Really? Are you serious?
I know.
I don't know.
I know. Yes, it's concerning. Now, so you said that you're often telling people to kind of like simplify their routine. Don't use so many barrier protecting products. What is something that you're consistently cutting out when people are seeing you about acne?
Steps. I have 3 steps. Cleanse, treat, hydrate. That's it.
I just did an episode about this.
Cleanse, treat, hydrate. It's not hard.
Right.
Like you don't want to flood your skin with treatments. You don't want to have too many different variables. You want to stay really boring. It's like the hormone advice, right? Cleanse your skin to prep your skin to receive your treatment. Treat your skin, whatever your skin concern is, and then hydrate it and protect your barrier. One time in the morning, one time in the evening.
Right.
One treatment in the morning, one treatment in the evening is ample. If you're doing more than that, you're running the risk of perioral dermatitis. Your acne might be coming from a product that you're using, you know?
Yes.
So making that really calm and boring is usually really easy to solve it.
Can we expect SPF from you?
Maybe.
Okay. In the absence of you having, I'm sure if you're testing things, you know, maybe you're using your own concoctions, but what is your go-to SPF? What do you like that's on the market today?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I have 3 that I've been using this summer.
Okay. And please make it something, because my guests come on here and they're like, you can only find it in like Seoul in this like one farm. Make it something we can find.
Okay. I'm going to give you 3 really awesome American skin sunscreens. Number 1, the ultraviolet
Of course.
The ultraviolet, is it Supreme Screen? The navy one with the yellow top?
It's so good.
It is awesome sunscreen.
Yeah.
I love that, period. Number 2, the new Dr. Idris sunscreen is awesome.
Okay.
Disco.
I haven't tried it.
I can't remember the name. She's going to kill me. Disco Block.
Okay.
It's great. Factor 50, really dewy, luminous finish.
Yeah. And these are all
Gorgeous.
chemicals, right?
I am a chemical sunscreen girl.
Preach it, because I'm like, you guys you're fighting with the mineral. You
saw that girl on the beach, right?
Hello.
Come on.
But it's like the desire to be mineral only, like you have to interrogate why. Are you breastfeeding? If you're just like living your life, chemical sunscreen is just fine.
But even if you're breastfeeding, you can use chemical sunscreen.
Well, yeah.
You know
some people are very,
yeah.
And like, I get it.
Totally.
I never want to tell pregnant people that they're being too paranoid, because like, I get it.
I can relate to that, yes.
Yeah. I have found the one good mineral sunscreen from Ranavat that I really like.
I like the Ranavat line.
It's nice. But yeah, I'm just like, don't force it.
No.
Why are you forcing yourself to use a mineral sunscreen if you don't need to? Okay, so the ultraviolet, the disco block, and then what's your third?
And then I've been using Is Clinical Extreme Protect.
Okay.
Which is like an old school like go-to for me.
Yes.
I've always loved that one.
Yes.
I recently came back from Seoul. It was like a full circle moment for me. I went with my team. We're like developing some products out there, which are amazing. I'm so excited. And of course, like I got a bunch of sunscreens that are completely unavailable here. And I'm like, I have to wait till next time. But
I know.
yeah, they're all the Korean sunscreens are amazing.
They are amazing, yes.
Yeah.
So we're in Sephora. We've got Sofie Pavitt Skin in the skincare area. You go to the color cosmetics area. What are you buying? What are you picking up?
Wow. Okay. Well, an amazing acne safe line for my clients is Ciel.
Oh, okay. I hear about Ciel a
Nikki
lot, but I
Doris.
haven't tried.
Ciel cream blush is awesome. They also do a
Okay.
tint and protect base that I really like. I really like the Dr. Jart CC cream. That's what I use for color as a base.
Nice.
I really like the Tower 28 blushes. They're really fun. I like Farah Hamidi lip. I only really
Is
wear
she at
that.
Sephora?
Yeah.
Oh, she is. Everyone's obsessed with her.
I love her packaging. I
yeah.
love her colors. They're so
Yes.
fab.
Sarah Brown. Do you know Sarah Brown?
Yeah,
She's,
of
I feel like
course.
one of the most discerning women in beauty.
Discerning.
She was like, I'm obsessed. So I was like, okay, if she's obsessed, I need
Yeah.
to like get on it. And yeah, they're at Violet Grey, but I didn't know she was at Sephora.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
at Sephora. And also, I love Ultraviolet. Violette, sorry. Not Ultraviolet.
Violette
Ultraviolet's
FR.
the sunscreen. Yes, Violette
Yes,
FR.
her products
I
are
really like
gorgeous.
their like matte lip, which is really pretty.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then hair care, because you have this gorgeous hair color, and I feel like hair color is a whole thing to maintain. So what are you using for your hair?
I'm like a Crown Affair girl.
Oh, we love Crown
I love Crown
Affair.
Affair finishing gel.
Yes.
I love their dry shampoo.
Yes.
I really like the Rose hair care line too. The Rose?
Oh, R-O-Z.
Mara's line.
Yes.
I love their like, it's like a milk, like a pump milk, which
Yeah.
is really gorge.
I love what she does for Emma Stone.
Oh,
Such just
that,
good.
did you just see that
The
editorial?
September issue.
So
Yeah,
amazing.
I'll be honest with you. I was a little underwhelmed by the Vogue cover.
Yeah.
Emma's gorgeous. Her
Yeah,
hair.
she's
She looks
beautiful.
amazing. But I'm just like, I feel like you've got a big budget. Go
be more-
shoot in the
Well,
mountains somewhere. Go
exactly.
somewhere fabulous. Like, why are
Yeah.
we always in the studio with a seamless backdrop?
That's true.
Budget is not a constraint here.
You know what else? I like Danessa Myricks like foil sticks. Have you tried those? Those new
yes.
ones?
Oh, I love them. Because I get the eyeshadow palettes and they're so intimidating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't. The sticks, I was like, oh, you unlocked it for me. This is it.
I am so bad at doing my makeup. Like, it's not something like comes naturally to me.
Yeah,
I'm a skincare
yeah.
girly,
Right,
right?
right,
So
right.
like for me, Danessa made it easy. Like
Yes.
just that little drip on the eyelid.
It's so good.
awesome.
I know.
And you have instant like just glam, you know?
Yeah, the
I
foil
love-
sticks are really great. Now, you are a mom of two.
Yes.
2 boys, and boys have a lot of energy. You have a thriving skincare business. You're working 1 day a week at a dermatology office. You're also still seeing clients at your studio. What do you do to relax?
That is a great question. I love to read. I love
Okay.
reading books.
What kind of books do you read?
I love doom scrolling on my phone, which is like terrible. You know, I just read Keith McNally's memoir. I regret almost everything.
Oh, I don't know this book.
It is
Okay.
so good.
Is
It's
it?
so good. He's like the mastermind behind Pastis and Balthazar,
Yeah.
and he's just like this really old school like
Is he
English
also,
guy.
is he the McNally of McNally Jackson? The bookshop in Soho?
Oh God, that's a great question. I
Okay.
do not know the
Anyway,
answer to that.
yes.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Whoa.
It would make sense, right?
It would make total sense. Wow.
Yeah.
I feel dumb. But
No,
not
but
doing that.
I love a memoir. I love reading through people who have interesting lives.
It's a great beach read. Do you
Okay.
remember the hipster grifter?
Vaguely.
The Hipster Grifter was like this story back in like Indie Sleaze, 2008, 2009. She worked at Vice.
Okay.
And she like grifted a bunch of guys and everyone was like, oh my God, shock horror, this is like terrible. And then nobody heard from her for years. And she just wrote a memoir and I read that in like one day on an airplane.
Oh my God.
And it was just a juicy read.
I feel like I remember like a Gawker article.
Yes. Yeah. No, it was,
remember Gawker and Jezebel and
man, they were the days.
Those were the days. Yeah. I've been thinking about Refinery 29, I've just been thinking about that era of like going to a website and just not for a particular story. You just go to the website to like read everything that's been written.
100%.
But we don't really do that anymore.
No. And like that was such a moment in time in New York too.
It was.
Like Fashion Night Out. Do you
Fashion's
remember?
Night Out, of course.
Fashion's
I was an
Night
intern
Out.
at Vogue at Fashion's Night Out, the first and second one, and it was like the worst day of my life.
The craziest thing.
It was
I
the
remember
craziest
buying those Isabel Marant sneaker wedges.
Yeah, which are back.
Which are back.
In the
and
window
I
at
bought them
Isabel
in
Marant
like
now.
half a size too small because I was like, they were the last ones there. And I was like, I have to have them. And they gave me like terrible like aches whenever I wore them and I wore them to death. I'm like, yeah, I would do it all again. I regret nothing.
I know. And just like even just like going to the American Apparel on like Union Square and getting like a leotard and like the disco, just like
glorious.
The whole, and like, yeah, just going out. I remember like Butter on Monday nights. I remember all of just like the club era in New York.
Did you go to Jeans yet?
No, but I keep hearing about Jeans and that. I also heard that the food's good.
The food is good.
That's what I hear. Yeah. Like a nightclub with good food.
But it's like in the old Butter restaurant. So it's just like, oh, you know that meme of like the grandma and they're like, there used to be a restaurant here. That's how I feel walking around New York City like 20 years in, you know? But yeah.
What are you learning about yourself as a leader in this chapter?
Leading a team is really hard. And for me, I struggle the most with like my time management. I have this amazing assistant who started with me a couple of months ago and she's like finally like organizing my life. I find it really hard to ask for help. So asking for help is something I'm learning like that I need to do. I can't do it all myself. I also come from like a background of design and production and product development. So I find that hard to let go of as well.
Right.
And I can't do that as CEO.
Right.
That's tricky for me. So I'm learning so much about myself, but I'm having so much fun. Like I'm obsessed with it, you know,
I love it.
Which you have to be, like we said earlier.
Yes. Now, did it ever concern you to name this line with your name? Because I always think of Bobbi Brown, right? Who can't use her own name,
right?
Because Estee Lauder owns it, correct? Right. She's got Jones Road now, which is a fabulous line,
right?
But if I was Bobbi Brown, I would feel a type of way about my product being out there in the world and me not having control of it. And I think we've reached a point in the beauty world where founders want to build a company to eventually sell it and move on and maybe do something else. So yeah, I'm just wondering how you think about that with your name being attached to it.
For me, it was the only name we could use. And the reason why is this is such an extension of my expertise. Mm-hmm. It's an extension of our skincare studio in New York City. Everything.
Right.
Sofie Pavitt Face is like, it's a platter of like everything we've worked towards so far. It wasn't just a vanity thing for me.
Right.
It was more like, no, we have to associate this with the results we get at the studio. The fact that I'm obsessed with this as a skincare concern, I want to make your skin better. And I felt so strongly that I had to name it myself.
Yeah.
And it also, there's no hiding behind that name. Like I am there as a representation of that product brand. So for me, it was really important. Yeah. I wonder what happens. I mean, it's fun because like my last name is actually Nguyen because I'm married to my husband now.
Right,
so I'm like, maybe I'll just change my name officially on all of my documents if we sell.
Yes.
And then I'll start a new line.
Right. With your married name. Yeah. What was it with Bobbi Brown? I think it was like a 35-year, there was some sort of like 35 years that she had non-compete.
Yeah.
When she sold it like a million years ago, they said like, you cannot release a new product for 35 years. And then like when she turned 60 something, she was like, I'm going to launch Jones Road.
Do you know what I really want to do when I sell my beauty company? If I ever do, is I want to learn construction.
Construction of
I want to like rip bathrooms apart with my bare hands
and
like learn to tile.
Like
I think tiling.
Homes.
I think tiling would be so like soothing and methodical, and like I would be on my own with a podcast.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. Yes.
And that'd be fun.
I mean,
You can have many lives, Brooke, you know.
of course.
We'll
of
figure
course.
out.
I'm living many. I'm living proof of that. How has this chapter of your life, just again, managing a business, doing everything that you love, kind of changed your outlook on motherhood or
Oh my gosh.
your relationship with your boys?
You know, for me, it's really important to show them that your mom can work and have like her own thing going on. My parents always worked when I was younger. And yeah, I mean, I want to show them what I can do, you know? For me, working for myself was like the greatest gift, being a mom, you know?
Yeah.
I worked for someone else for 15 years and it was really hard. I had 10 days off a year working in corporate fashion, had shoes thrown at me and like, you know, all that's I'm not blaming anyone for throwing shoes, but you know, that stuff happens.
Yeah, of course. People
And
don't realize how seriously, there was no like HR, like, I don't know, working in fashion in like the 2010s era
deeply problematic.
was so problematic.
So problematic, but also like I saw other women go through immense hardships with their children, you know, like going on trips with 4-month-old babies at home, like, and you're still nursing and like you're pumping and sending milk, like, what? Like, that wasn't for me. So, working for myself really gave me autonomy over that, and I'm so grateful for it.
Do your boys use any of the products?
They call it the products. They're like, Mom, your products. Like, wait, can we go and see the products? Like, my eldest is like into sunscreen now. Like, he carries around. He's 6.
Okay.
So he's got like one of those like little, you know, those sticks that you like roll up, and he's always like, Mom, I just got to put my sunscreen on. So like he does that.
We love it.
But yeah, they're still a little too small to be like a Sephora kid yet, but we'll see.
Oh my gosh. Well, my son, he asks for skincare. Like,
really?
Yeah, because he just knows after the bath, like it's like lotion and like moisturizer, and like he'll remind me if we forget. He's like
that. I give them face rubs, you know, like a little like with their lotion after the bath.
Yeah.
So yeah, oh,
So
it's so cute. I know. I wonder, like, you've got a little girl. I'm missing that female energy.
I know. Well, you know what? At this age, it's like, gender is like not, you know, she doesn't have like interests yet. So we'll see as she gets older.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I could talk to you all day, but my final question that I ask all of my guests, which is, when do you feel most beautiful?
I feel my most beautiful sat with no makeup on the beach in Rhode Island, like not a hot beach, kind of a cold beach with like a coffee, just watching my kids run up and down the beach. And I'm like in like a trawl outfit, like not done up, you know, and I've had the whole summer out there with them and it's been like the most beautiful thing. So I'm so grateful.
Oh, that's so nice.
But yeah, I'm back to work, baby. Like you know that feeling, like I love this feeling, like end of summer, getting back to work.
It's like school's like, it's like back to school.
I feel more invigorated than New Year's at this time of year because we get to do the fun stuff in our skincare stuff too. So yeah, I'm excited.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so excited about what's to come. Can you give us a preview of anything or?
Well, there's some Easter eggs coming.
Okay.
We have a really big launch early next year, which might be another step. Okay. We might have talked about it earlier. I don't know.
Okay.
But there's something really big and fun coming. But yeah, we have 4 new launches next year. So I'm excited to share them with you.
Amazing. All right. Sophie, thank you so much for being on Naked Beauty. Literally come back whenever. I could talk to you.
And come for a facial.
Oh, I'm gonna come for a facial and I'm gonna document it for everyone. So awesome. I'm excited for that. Thank you so much, Sophie.
Thank you.